This is Donald Trump now telling Britain he does not need its help to win Iran's war. President Donald Trump said on Saturday that Britain was giving serious thought to sending two aircraft carriers to the Middle East, but added that the US does not need them to win the war with Iran in the latest clash between the military allies. Now, this is latest remarks that's coming in from Donald Trump that we're bringing to you. Remember earlier, it was Keir Starmer himself who had come out to say that they are not just worried about the entire war that's panned out in the West Asian region, but also that they're ready to help. They're one of the first countries in Europe that had come out to say that they were ready to help alongside France in whatever military efforts that the United States requires from them. And now Pranay continues to be with us. You know, Pranay, at one point on day second and third, correct me if I'm wrong there with the number, European countries like France and Britain, United Kingdom that is, they were coming in to say that they will be activating their military efforts if the United States requires. The problem with that is the war entering Europe and the war theatre expanding to that very region. And that is where people were speculating if at all there's a threat of a World War III beginning.
Shreya, I would say that there is a difference of opinion, there is a difference of perception as well here, because initially there was a reluctance on part of the European partners of United States to enter into this conflict. In fact, if you see the initial statement coming from UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer or the Russian or the French President Emmanuel Macron, they were of the opinion that there should be restraint should be exercised on the either part, and in fact there was a reluctance on them to participate in any of the conflict. In fact, you will recall that initially President Donald Trump expressed his displeasure that UK refused to let United States forces use Diego Garcia, which technically is under UK jurisdiction to hit back to hit at Iran. And in fact, that became an issue between UK and USA as well. But later, UK allowed US forces to use Diego Garcia, and this came at a time when their Royal Air Force Base in Cyprus was hit by a drone. However, later the UK Defense Ministry issued a statement by saying that that drone did not come from Iran. They did not specify where exactly did that drone come from, but this remains a very foggy issue between the United States and United States, because there are a large number of protests going on in London as well, because the European audience, the European people, especially people in UK, are not in favor of Britain getting involved into this conflict and adding burden on the taxpayer money of United Kingdom. But having said that, recently the UK forces have augmented in the region. The HMS HMS Dragon or the Wildcat helicopters or the F-35 Typhoon fighter jets have been moved in the region, especially to secure the assets of United Kingdom. And even France has also moved an aircraft carrier, Charles de Gaulle, in the region. And besides that, not only France and UK, but also Italy and Germany have also augmented their forces in the region. So this clearly shows that Europe has its own interests, and when their interest was hit, in the region, they reserve a right to get involved, and they reserve a right to hit back at Iran if their bases are getting targeted.
Very true, Pranay. But then the situation still remains very concerning and very nerve-wracking at this point of time, because developments can go either ways, and that is what we're looking at with each passing day, because Donald Trump himself has been quite unpredictable with his remarks. Pranay, thank you for putting it into context for us.